Hello, so this company, No.1, sent me their G5 smartwatch to review for you, and I've been looking at these for a while on Gearbest actually, and I'm really keen to see what the G5 actually offers. They actually have got a range of other watches as well, including ones that include GPS, and I'm hoping I get to review those ones. This watch costs about $37. I'll put a link to the Gearbest listing of this watch down in the description box below, so that you can get your hands on this if you want. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to be in with the chance of winning one of 2 Apple Watch clones when I hit 5,000 subscribers. Let's open the box and see what you get inside. So we've got the watch itself, which we'll take a closer look at in a minute. Typical micro USB to USB charging cable, and a little tiny user manual. One of the first things you notice when you look at this watch is that it's a lot more sporty and rugged looking than a lot of the Apple Watch clones that I've looked at. And we have this sort of compass decoration on here. It doesn't actually have a compass, but it's got these markings around the side here for the minutes in the hour, which is, I guess, pretty useful. And I quite like this for a change, actually. I think it's quite a manly design, and I would be happy to wear this. We've got 3 buttons, and I guess we'll see what they do in a minute. And on this side, we've got the USB charging port. Now, the strap on this watch is a sort of rubbery strap that doesn't feel as cheap as some of the rubbery straps that we've looked at in the past, and I quite like that it's, to be honest, I prefer sort of normal straps like this with a standard watch strap buckle, because the ones with links can be a bit of a hassle to get them to fit your wrist. And on the back of the watch here, you can see that we've got what looks to be a heart rate monitor. All in all, the actual build quality of this watch is pretty nice, to be honest. I think that looks like quite a good quality watch. It's got quite a slim profile, it's not too heavy, and it's a sort of modern, masculine design. Okay, let's turn the watch on and take a look at some of the features. So we do that, as is standard, by holding this button on the side for a couple of seconds, and then after a little delay and a little animation, we get the screen. Now, the first thing that I notice is that the screen is incredibly vibrant. I love the brightness on this screen, and actually it goes, for some reason, the sort of bright colours on the screen go really well with the sort of black surround of the watch, so that's already a thumbs up from me for that. And on the home screen here, you can see that we've got the time, obviously, this digital format, month, the day of the week, and a battery icon there. And I think, as is pretty standard with these watches, if we tap the screen like that, we can choose from a range of clock faces. So we've got this analog one, which I think is actually pretty cool as well. We've got kind of a more complex one, which also goes with this watch. So you can either go simple, I guess, and contrast the sort of modern, sporty design, or complex like this with the multiple dials to make it look like a proper sort of sports watch. Another sort of complex one here, and back to this digital one, which is actually my favourite because of the vibrant colours. And as you can see, I don't know the logic behind it, but the colour of this LCD screen changes as the hours and minutes tick on. And if we go to the menu, which we can do by swiping across like that, you can also see the vibrancy of these icons as well. But they're not just vibrant. I don't know how close I can get, but the resolution of this watch is pretty good. So you actually you don't get lots of pixelated icons on here. They do look like good quality, high resolution icons. And from the home screen, by pressing the top button here, we can access a stopwatch, so we can, I guess, start and stop, so it's quite a convenient place to put it, I guess. You can also, by pressing the bottom button, access the sort of the pedometer and calorie burning thing. So if we press start there, now it's going to monitor the number of steps we've done and give us a calorie burnt readout. So it's pretty good that they're so easily accessible. So by swiping across to the menu, let's take a look at some of the features on this watch. Obviously there's an alarm feature, which is quite a nice interface, to be honest, for creating an alarm. There's a calendar, which has also got quite a nice interface, so you can either look at a sort of month display like this, or the daily display. There's a calculator, heart rate monitor. So as I showed you when we were looking at the watch, there is actually a heart rate monitor on the bottom of this watch. So if I rest that on my wrist like that, I have to rest it quite closely. There we go, it's measured my heart rate, which is quite fast because I'm standing up and leaning over this camera. Sleep monitor, which we've seen on a lot of these watches as well. I quite like that on this G5 watch they've got quite a nice interface and icons for a lot of these things, which makes the watch look a lot more sort of professional and expensive. A sedentary reminder, which also uses the accelerometer on the watch to basically remind you to get up and move around if you're not moving much. Vibrator, which I guess I'm not quite sure of the purpose of that, but maybe it massages your wrist, I don't know. Anti-loss, so basically if you move too far away from your phone, then your watch will vibrate to let you know that you've lost your phone, basically. Power saving mode, what does that do? So basically, by the looks of it, that changes the screen brightness to conserve battery life. You can obviously change the language that it displays on this. And then we get to some of the more sort of smartwatchy features, which are things like Bluetooth dialing and SMS. Now, the Bluetooth functions on the G5 are compatible with Android and iOS phones, all except one feature. The text messaging feature doesn't work on iPhones, but message notifications do work on this, so if you get a message on your iPhone, then you will get a notification on the watch, and I will demonstrate that in a minute. Now, the app you need on the iPhone is called Fundoware, and it's one we've seen several times before. It's really easy to pair using the Bluetooth menu and then using this sort of built-in sort of pairing menu on the app, and then obviously the app can be used to store step and sleep information as well as a record of your heart rate measurements. You can control the alarms and alerts on the watch. So all in all, that's a pretty feature-packed app there to work with the watch. So let's have a look at some of the Bluetooth features on this watch and see how we can use them with the iPhone. Okay, so obviously we have a dialer here, so we can make phone calls from the watch. SMS, which as I said, doesn't work with iOS, it only works fully with Android. Contacts, so actually it syncs the, I'll cover my names here, but it syncs the address book from your phone onto the watch. Call logs here, and then we also have BT camera here. So this basically allows you to use the watch as a camera trigger for your phone. So if I get the camera up on my iPhone like this, so there we go, you can see the camera on my phone. If I then use the camera trigger on here, you can see basically it just takes a picture. And actually what this actually does is, I think, press like the volume button on the phone, because if I press it on this screen, you can see it's putting the volume up like that. So that's quite funny, really. You can also play music remotely through your phone. BT Notifier, which is the thing that allows you to basically see the notifications on your iPhone or Android phone. If I send a text message to myself using my iPhone, it'll actually come up as a notification on the watch, which is pretty cool. And we've seen this on quite a few watches, but usually they're quite a bit more expensive than this, to be honest. So this is really a great feature for the price. So if I send myself a text message, there we go, so we got this nice little jingle which you can turn off, and you can see the first notification there is from me, and it's a text message in which I put the word rather by accident, not for any particular reason. This has also got motion sensing, so you can do things like, here we go, flip to mute alarm, wake up gesture. The wake up gesture's off currently, but if we turn that on, then what we find is that basically when the watch is off like that and it's turned away from you, if you then turn the watch to face you, the screen comes on like that. So that's a pretty cool feature. There's two themes to choose from on this watch, two colour themes. So the first one's pretty nice anyway. Let's have a look at the second one. Okay, so that's added a wallpaper to the back of the screen, which actually I quite like. And since they shipped this watch to me from China, and I've been testing it and learning how to use it, the battery's only gone down by about a third. So the battery life is obviously really good on this watch, which is really something that's lacking on even a lot of the more expensive smartwatches. So far, for $37, I'm really impressed. So in conclusion, I do actually recommend this No.1 G5 smartwatch, mainly because I like the sporty sort of rugged design, which makes a bit of a change from the sort of Apple Watch clone shapes, and I like the screen, the vibrancy of the screen. I think it looks really good. I like the features on this, and for $37, you know, you get a lot of technology for your money, really, including the heart rate monitor and all the sort of messaging functionality that works on it. So all in all, this is one of the better smartwatches that I've seen, and I'm looking forward to taking a closer look at the whole range of watches in the No.1 range. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to be in with a chance of winning one of 2 Apple Watch clones when I hit 5,000 subscribers. See you next time for another unboxing and review.